Hey y'all, back with another Married to Medicine review. So glad to be getting this done because now I will be caught up on all my shows and reviews right in time for them to start coming back on tomorrow. So, season 10, episodes 8 and 9. Episode 8, Take a Napper. This episode starts off with Heavenly and Jackie having breakfast and talking. Like I said, they are still in Napa. Um, they just sitting there and they start talking about. I think Jackie said like y'all voting people off the island last night. Won't y'all? No, Heavenly said that y'all was voting people off the island last night, wasn't it? No, Qua voted herself off the island. Like she did it to herself. Jackie said, well, you were very upset, saying that, she was using you. You were very upset about that. Heavenly was like, yes. Yes, I was very upset because I do feel like she be using me, basically. And they say something about how Heavenly has grown. Like, in the past, she wouldn't have reacted as mildly as she did. They say Heavenly's grown. Heavenly said, well, Toya ain't the only one that's grown in this group. Think we can do the same for Sweet Tea? Well, anything's possible. It's so silly. So, Heavenly's basically telling Jackie she has to leave early to go back to Atlanta for Alora's graduation. Jackie tells her, well, I talked to a lawyer. I told her I'm the Olivia Pope of vaginas, and if anything happened, she can call me, and me and the gladiators will get it together. Heavenly said, she ain't crazy. She ain't gonna be out here getting pregnant, not my baby. Jackie looking at her like, sure. And they basically, I guess, production asked her, well, you got pregnant in school. You don't think the Lord gonna get pregnant in school? I'm like, Heavenly got pregnant in grad school. Heaven was like, I was from the hood. And when you were from the hood and you find a man that's going to medical school, he's going to be a doctor and all that, you trap that. Oh, scratch that. Don't play that. Don't play that. I said, Heavenly so daggone crazy. So next we see they meet up for the spa mud baths. Yeah, they meet up for the spa mud bath. Simone, Alicia, Toya, and Phaedra do mud baths while Letitia, Jackie, and Heavenly do the tuk-tuk tour. Phaedra was late. They was just about to leave her going off to the spa. Talking about she had some diarrhea. I'm like, did we need to know all that? I really don't think we needed to know all that. They get to the spa and the mud bath stinks. Everybody's just disgusted at how it stinks. They said it smells like manure. Toya and Alicia get in the mud baths. Phaedra says she not getting in the mud bath because she don't want her vagina to be stinking like this mud in this mud bath. Phaedra and Simone end up doing mineral baths. And Alicia's asking Toya, is this not what you imagined? She was like, no, I don't know what I imagined, but it wasn't this because this smelled like poop. She was very displeased with that mud bath. Like I said, T, Heavenly, and Jackie go on a tuk-tuk tour, and it just looks like a golf cart to me. It looks like they're just rolling around in town on a golf cart. But at the end of the tour, they have a little wine and charcuterie board snack in one of the vineyards, and it was very lovely. So, Sweet Tea, talking mess or whatever. I'm a millennial. They dang near my granny age. They my granny age. And as we see from the lives and from social media, she kept on calling Heavenly granny, grandma. Heavenly said, well, that means you married your granddaddy. Y'all, they've been into it so bad because of that live. I don't even know if they did a live for this last episode. Did they? I ain't seen nobody talking about nothing because they had to cut that one short because it was just going too crazy. I don't even know what happened, how they got to the mamas, but I guess Sweet Tea was like, your mama or something like that. And Heavenly told Sweet Tea to go to hell, and Sweet Tea told her, well, your mama there, you go to hell. Your mama already there, knowing Heavenly mama is dead. Heavenly was not phased by it at all. She was like, my mama got a better chance of having a baby in hell than you do. Y'all, not that it's funny, but it's just the fact that Heavenly just be, she be so with the mess, y'all. So that's all I can really remember from the live. I think that's all that really happened. Anyway, I just figured I'd throw it in right there since she got to the granny part. So next up, the ladies at the spa, they are now outside. They got their little robes and they have their little snack as well. Alicia's talking about how her husband appreciates her and her contributions as a mom since he's been keeping the kids while they've been on this trip. Remember, y'all, this is his first time keeping the kids. She says that, she grew up with her mama saying that you don't need a man. Toya goes, well, as an adult woman, you do need a man. Do you? As an adult woman, need a man? Okay, girl. They asked Phaedra, do you want to get married again? She said, not really. Being high income, it's dangerous. And I'm wondering, was Apollo trying to get some type of money up off of her? Because, I can see it, but he was in jail when they divorced, so probably not. Probably wasn't able to. And she asked him, Toya asked Phaedra, well, what do the boys know about the divorce? What have you told them? Phaedra said, they read, they know. Toya gonna said her, I usually answer questions before they're asked in my household. Phaedra said, well, that's good for you in your household. Toya was just like, ooh, okay. Cause like, girl, don't tell this girl how she gonna raise her kids. Like, if she want them to know what happens in the marriage from reading it online or hearing about it from whoever, then so be it. She don't want to have a in-depth conversation. And it's not like they couldn't get the gist of it from reading it or watching Real Housewives of Atlanta. Like, yeah, they might have some questions for her to ask, but I don't blame her for not volunteering all this extra info. She said she wants them kids to have their own relationship with their dad, have their own opinion of him. She don't want to taint his image to the kids, basically, which I can get. So they're back in Atlanta. Eugene is going over to Cecil's house to have cigars. They talking about Dr. Alicia and Dr. Kima and how him being around these strong women is going to be different for him. Because Dr. Alicia, she don't do all that sassiness and stuff with him like she do with the ladies, like the ladies do, period. They like, yeah, he ain't been around Simone and Toya like that, because nothing but firecrackers right there. He better watch out. He better get ready, basically. They said that he's barbaric, and he is a Nigerian Jamaican. So I'm like, yeah, he got it honest. I said, dang, even the men, even the men is talking about how barbaric and basically misogynistic you are. Because they like, we they doctors or strong-willed women, so. And so back in Napa, they're having dinner. And like I said, Heavenly is gone by now. She had to be back in Atlanta for Alora's graduation, I guess, the next day. They having dinner, and they were told to wear the color of their favorite wine, whether it's red, white, or so I think somebody had on like glitter. So it's like, oh, you like the sparkling wine. So they tired of the wine. They ordering cocktails. They say even Toya ordering cocktails, and she a wine connoisseur. Everybody wanted them some liquor at that point. Tisha is talking about her struggles getting pregnant. Jackie said, well, if all else fails, we can find you a uterus. And somebody asked her, well, how long does that take? She was like, well, the more you want, the longer it takes. Like if you request no sex while carrying, you might have a little more troubles finding somebody that would want to carry your baby. And they like, ugh, I don't want nobody coming on my baby head and all this little goofy stuff. And Toya says that that's how Eugene felt while she was pregnant. And everybody's like, Eugene is a doctor, good and well. There ain't no cum reaching the baby's head. They asked each other, do we have any regrets on this trip? Nope, Quiet was treating us bad, so whatever. We ain't got no regrets for sending her home. The end. Next, we see, we're back in Atlanta. We see Tisha making Dr. G take out the trash. And he's willingly taking out the trash. He said, y'all ain't finna bash me for not taking out the trash this go around, okay? But my thing is like, she still had to ask you. Like, you didn't take out the trash when the trash needed to be taken out. You took it out when she asked you to. It's a difference. It's a difference. We see Toya and Eugene, and she is making him cut out her sew in. He said this is basically a date because this is intimacy. She's like, boy, you cheating. This is not no intimacy. And anyway, the intimacy is still lacking in the relationship. Y'all know Toya gotta complain every season and let Eugene know that whatever he's doing is not good enough. Every single season. Every single season. So at this point, they just asking him about the trip. They're talking about the trip, how'd it go, how'd this go, yada, yada, yada. Anyway, next we see the episode rounding on out with Alora and Heavenly sitting there and talking. She's asking her about school. How you feel about school? You excited? You getting ready to go? Mama gonna miss you. I'm gonna be an empty nester. And Laura was like, well, yeah, about that. You need to contact your sister. Heavenly doesn't really agree with her, but Alora convinces her to call her sister, but she doesn't get no answer. Heavenly's like, that was a bad idea, Alora. That was a bad idea. I shouldn't have called her. And she was like, I still got scars to this day from me fighting her. She said, I don't want to get whooped on. That's what Heavenly said. I guess the sister would be beating Heavenly up. Laura said, you need me to go with you? You know I ain't gonna let nobody whoop on you. I really got this image of a Laura in my head jumping on somebody that's jumping on Heavenly. You know I ain't gonna let nobody whoop on you. I said, that's right, Laura. You take up for your mama, always running her mouth. I wonder if Heavenly can fight, though. As much mess as she talks, she needs to be able to know how to fight. So, this episode ends with what the internet, social media is making a very controversial situation. Letitia goes to the doctor that Simone referred her to, the specialist. She has 5 and 7 centimeter cysts on her ovaries, resulting in a 50% chance of infertility. So not that she's actually infertile, but it's a 50% chance that she will be. She has to have surgery to remove the cyst so that they can go forward with trying to get pregnant. She's, obviously devastated about this. She calls Dr. G, and he's just like, we're going to stay prayed up. Don't worry about it. Everything's going to be good. So, the thing that makes this so controversial in, very opinionated people's eyes, me being very opinionated people as well, is Letitia is approaching this situation as if she did not know she had these problems. And, it's just not believable. It's just not believable. I can recall at one point her saying, I can't remember if it was on a live or if it was on the show, she was like, nobody tells you that, if you don't have a period every month, that something might be wrong, that something's irregular. That's exactly what they tell us, dear. Letitia is younger than me. They teach that you're supposed to have a cycle every, 26, 32 days. If it comes sooner or later than that, You need to talk to your physician. You need to talk to your OBGYN. You might need to get on some type of birth control to regulate it. You might have to, there's just so many things that we're taught about making sure we monitor our cycle. So when she said that, it was very much giving you putting on for TV. Then another thing, it's like you were in the military. I know they made you go to a clinic or whatever to get checked up often to make sure you got a clean bill of health. And at no point, no doctor in your 31, now 32 years of life did somebody tell you that you got fibroids or you got cysts or you might be in danger of endometriosis. It just sounds unbelievable. It just sounds like you embellishing for the camera or for some sympathy, because nobody's believing this. It's just, you could say you didn't know it was this serious. That would be a little bit more believable, but it's just like the fact that you've had irregular periods for as long as you've been having periods and you didn't think nothing was up with that. You've been having extremely painful periods. No doctor has said anything about it. I hope y'all can't hear all that. My baby's in the next bathroom, dragging her little stool across to use the restroom. My baby is fully potty trained, y'all. Clap it up for my baby. She is 2. She will be 3 in March, and she is fully potty trained. She sleeps in her pull-ups, but most times she wakes up dry. She wears her big girl panties throughout the day. She hasn't had an accident in a while, and she's fully transitioned to a toilet and not her potty training toilet. It's just such an accomplishment. I would like to thank my mother-in-law for starting her off on this journey, my husband for making sure she gets to the potty in time. I just want to thank our village for, listening to that little, I gotta pee, and taking us to the bathroom inside. It is just so, because when nobody finna be changing no Pampers till 4. No offense to those who, may have a 4-year-old who is not yet potty trained or is on the potty training journey still. It just wasn't gonna work for me in my household. Like, she's way too smart. She can tell us everything else that's going on with her and how she feeling. She can tell us when she got a potty, and that she do. So anyway, just saying that in case y'all heard that stools scraping and the doors and stuff shutting from the highway. So the next episode 9 of season 10, Good Vibrations. They do the little beginning scenes for this. We see Tisha in there doing TikToks, and Dr. G coming in to interrupt her and say, I'm hungry. You gonna cook? Because I'm hungry. Yeah, I'm hungry. Like a child. Like, go fix you some food. You feed me tonight. Like, anyway. We also see, like we've been seeing almost every single episode, Dr. Jackie with Debrat and Judy. Like, at this point, they might as well be a part of the cast. You might as well invite them to a group event, because we see Brat and Judy more than we see Alicia, and she be right there with y'all. So, we are at the Harris household, and here's, infamous Toya complaints. Eugene is cooking breakfast for dinner. They have a kid-free night, so they having an indoor date night. Toya is complaining that this ain't a real date, which I don't disagree with her. It's just, it's always a better way to say something. You don't always have to be coming at somebody's neck. He says, well, you don't work 12-hour days. Like, he don't feel like going out after working all day. Well, if he do have a day off, he want to have a day off. He ain't trying to have to get dressed up and put on and be sitting in no restaurant and all that. I see both sides, to be honest. At this point, they both annoying. Because they have this argument every single season. He gets very comfortable in his routine. And I could have sworn, like, the pandemic season that they had, that he said he switched from ER to another field of medicine so that he can have more time with his kids and wife, because the boys were getting to an age where he wanted to be present for them and all these things. So I was confused by that anyway. Like, didn't you switch from the ER? But he probably was missing that ER money and went back. But they do this every season. He's at work all the time. He be working 5-6 days. He come home and want to lay down, want to rest, just watch TV. She's like, no, we still got to date. We still got to be intimate. We still have to make memories and moments. Like I said, I get both sides, but Toya, the way Toya complains about it, it's just always so exhausting. Like she said, he used to be, the type that she said if she wants some cherries, he gonna take her to the cherry picking field and let her pick out all the cherries she wants. He used to be very thoughtful, very romantic, and I'm like, he can still be that. You might have to give him a little push, but do that opposed to complaining. So with that, start off by telling them, I want this. We should go do this next week. Wouldn't that be nice? Wouldn't it be nice if we went to go? When's your next off day? Yeah, I'm going to schedule for us to do this next week. That is a gentle way of him getting the hint and you getting what you want. Now he knows next time he needs to schedule something. Opposed to her just flat out, we don't have no intimacy. When the last time we've been out on a date? You don't do this. You always work. It's like, girl, relax. Of course, they flash back to Toya crying at the reunion, saying how she feels lonely. And it's like I said, they both annoying at this point, because it's like Eugene, she done already said she's felt lonely. There have already been rumors about her sleeping with somebody in the neighborhood. She's been on edge. I can remember when they had the tax issue and he picked up another job in Savannah and was driving to Savannah, and she was talking about how lonely she was, and Jackie was like, do we have to worry about you? Like, are you okay? Because I think this is around the time where Curtis was cheating, or right after Curtis had cheated. And she was like, I feel that have somebody say they lonely because they spouse, but they work first. And she was like, Toya, do you feel like you gonna cheat? And she was like, I mean, no, but sometimes I am out and I'm like, ooh, he look good. Ooh, he look good. Ooh, he got muscles. So it's like, Eugene, do you want her to cheat on you? Do you want her to have a little side piece so that she could just be quiet and you can just lay down in the bed and take her on a date when you want to? Like I said, they both annoying at this point because they just keep running this same race. So next we see Heavenly and Damon sitting at the pool. They about to be empty nesters. She tells him that Alora made her reach out to her sister. He basically is like, yeah, you should keep trying. He basically wished that he had siblings and a stronger family unit. Remember, he didn't really know his dad. His dad lived in Barbados. I think he said he met him once or twice. So he couldn't be there for him because he just literally physically couldn't. So he's telling her, like, don't take your family for granted, make up with your sister. Next we see Simone and Cecil. They are helping the boys move into the condo they got them. And she asks him, how often, is too much to pop up? He said, anytime. She's like, oh, okay, you gonna be checking on him for me? Cecil said, nah, I'm gonna be over here hanging out. I'm gonna be over here hanging out with the boys. When you getting on my nerve, I'm gonna just come over here and kick it with the boys. Simone got this big old pack. It truly looks like the pack that they have at the hospital, like a big Ziploc bag of colorful condoms. Like, girl, Trojans or nothing. What are these big, colorful, cheap behind condoms that you giving your sons? You definitely gonna be a grandma if that's what you giving them. Like, girl, where are the Trojans? She got these condoms everywhere. She done put some on the table, put some in the chair, just condoms everywhere. They also brought some champagne so that they can toast to the boys' new place. They toast, and she tells Michael, the younger son, hopefully you'll buy this off of me one day. And he said, yeah, and charge him rent. I said, dang, they truly have no faith in the oldest son. Because as much as people try to lump them together in the social media streets, Michael he seems responsible. We ain't seen him have to come home from college. It looked like he didn't even transfer from different schools, and he still didn't take a break in between to come on home. So he might be a little what's the word? I wouldn't even say that Michael is spoiled, because it don't seem like he necessarily expects his parents to do X, Y, Z. He just gonna be like, well, if you got it, what you gonna do? You gonna give it to me? So I wouldn't necessarily call him spoiled, but he's definitely was born, in a well-off family. So he gonna act like he from a well-off family. But yeah, she hopes that Michael buys the condo up off of him one day, because she ain't got no faith in Miles. So yeah, there's that. Next we see Alicia and Phaedra go to lunch. Y'all, I truly can't deal with Phaedra. It's just, she looks like a caricature of an Instagram girl. And she's too old for this. She like 50 plus, right? The wigs be getting on my nerve. The nails be getting on my nerve. The super big lashes that she seems like she can't even hold her eyes open be getting on my nerves. It just looks crazy. So we see her tell Alicia that she was hurt by Heavenly's lies about how Heavenly and Quad talked about Phaedra was dating Dr. G. She's hurt by all of this, and the fact that they was even talking about her behind her back. So she kind of threw with Quad. Anyway, they move on to Phaedra talking about her Reiki journey. She said 6 years ago she started doing Reiki. Alicia said, yeah, I popped your Reiki session, and they show a little clip of they was in the park and Phaedra was doing some Reiki. Alicia. She was like, yeah, I want to learn more. Phaedra said, yeah, I'm going to do a whole session for the girls. That's what I'm going to do. Then they talk about yoni crystals, yada, 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 blah, blah, blah. Next, we see Sweet Tea and Dr. G talk about her endometriosis and having a baby. Dr. G was very insensitive in this moment. Like, when they were sitting at the table, he seemed like he got her back. He's there for her. But when they were in the confessional, he was very insensitive, because he basically was like, yeah, at my age, I'm not happy that we have to delay having a baby because of surgery. She ain't happy about it neither, especially at her age. She's in her 30s. She don't have granted, women are having babies much past 35 these days, but that's our hard age where they start looking like things can happen, right? So I just thought it was very insensitive for him to bring that up in front of her like that. I'm not happy about it. He could have said it so much better. Even if that's his feelings, not saying that he can't have his feelings, he could have said it so much better than that. So next we see the Harrises. They go out on a date. He takes her to a butcher shop, and she's like, a butcher shop? Yeah, but it ain't like a regular butcher shop. It's super fancy. They get in there. It's real nice. And she's still complaining. She's still complaining, y'all. She is basically like, oh, okay. I guess. Okay, cool. Eugene gets up. They making steaks. The guys making steaks, and it's like they right, like, not necessarily like hibachi style, but the table right there, the kitchen right there, you can see the guy making the food. Eugene ends up getting some lessons from the guy, looking at this, and Eugene is just like, yeah, Toya said, "You did this for you. You was on a date with the chef, and I was just there." And it was funny, but it was her way of complaining. But I did giggle a little bit because they just showed him being all googly eyes with them steaks over there learning some techniques and carrying on. Then they talk about how when they were early in their dating, how she worked at Ruth's Chris, and him and his doctor friends came in there, and he's like, "Yeah, that's my girlfriend right there. That's my girlfriend right here." And she just felt like so embarrassed to be serving them or whatever. Just, a little silly little side story. Lastly, we see Phaedra in this Reiki session. Um, they get there. She introduces her to, what do you call him? Her Reiki master. Her Reiki master, and he this big buff dude, and Simone, she looking like she want to take that man home. Okay, Simone is just like, "Oh, okay, he got muscles. Ooh, yes. Ooh." Simone over there lusting. They have everybody lay down. They get the Reiki done. She's doing like a sound bath. And Toya says she feels her feet tingling. So, that might be something. Heavenly says she feels something. Simone over there sleep. Simone was knocked out. So then, not Heavenly, Phaedra offers up personal Reiki sessions to whoever wants to do it. Heavenly said, since she was feeling something, all right, I'll do it. So they doing the Reiki on her, and she's like, "My chest is warm. Like I feel like a pulling. I feel like a pulling in my chest." And they're like, "Yeah, that's you releasing." She's like, "Is that where you at? Is that where you at?" Like, okay. She gets off the table and she's looking at both of them. Y'all full of mess. Just being goofy. And while they're inside doing her personal Reiki session, the other ladies are outside, and it seems like they probably made Heavenly stay inside. Like production was like, "Heavenly, do you wanna do another session?" So that Sweet Tea can be outside and open up to the other ladies, because I don't think that she would have opened up like that if Heavenly was outside. So she's telling the other ladies about how she has to have surgery because of her cyst, and that they did say she has endometriosis, and she's nervous about it, nervous about having a baby and all of these things. She think it might be stage 4 endometriosis, even though, I don't think anybody has told, I don't think the doctor told her that. She's just assuming that it's going to be stage 4. And, yeah, they kind of hijack the conversation a little bit, and they do make it, like a PSA. They make it like a PSA for women's health and endometriosis and fibroids and taking care of yourself and everything like that. And yeah, that's how the episode ends. That's how it ends, y'all. And I was just kind of like, "Oh, okay, all right." So it'll be interesting to see over the next couple years or so. One, if Letitia and Gregory stay on the show, and two, if they do end up being able to have a baby the natural way. Wishing them nothing but luck and love, I suppose. And yeah, I'm trying to think if I'm gonna miss anything from Carlos and Heavenly Live. I don't think they really said nothing too crazy this week. I do remember Carlos was so upset. It's like it's last week. Carlos was so upset about Simone calling him a blogger. Because Watch What Happened Live, Simone was like quiet doing interviews with the blogger. And he was like, "I am not just a blogger. I make shows. I'm the owner of this. I got my own production company. Yeah. He was obviously very offended by her calling him a blogger. And I'm just like, it's just so not that deep. You are a blogger amongst other things. Like, it's not like she was being offensive. Like, it was just real extra. So, that's the only thing I can remember from these last 2 weeks of lives on what's surrounding this show. Like I said, I don't even know if they went live during the show this week. They probably on punishment from T and Heavenly's fight, because I haven't seen nothing about it, girl. Yeah, I'm confident that I'm done. So make sure y'all like, thumbs up the video. Let me know what y'all think about this episode. Let me know if I missed live down in the comments. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. That's it, y'all. Bye bye.